Okay, good afternoon again, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for the Alumni Info session. Today's session is all about research, collaboration, and impact, and how the Fulbright program has shaped our illustrious alumni's academic career. This session is for the Fulbright Malaysian Scholar Program for 2026-2027 that is currently open and will close at the end of this month, 30th of September. And you will be, if you are selected, you will be leaving next year, 2026 to 2027. Okay, so to start off, let's go. Okay, we will start off, of course, with our introductions. We have our two illustrious alumni, Associate Professor Dr. Citartan Marimuthu, who went in the program year was 2019 and 2020, and Professor Dr. Shakila Yacob, who went in 2015 and 2016. They will be talking about 3 points, how the professional growth and the global impact from the program, how it elevated their academic and career, and they'll give you some tips on how to strengthen your application and make most of the grant. And at 3:45, we will have a Q&A session, and we would end the program at 4 o'clock. My name is Lena, and I am the Fulbright US Program Facilitator, and my colleague Karen Jit, who's on the call, is the Malaysian Fulbright Program Facilitator. So these are our illustrious alumni who are joined us today. Thank you again. And we will start with Prof. Citartan. Over to you.
All right. Dina, can you hear me? Right, just cross-checking with you. I'm audible, right?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, you are.
Okay, perfect. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Macy for the opportunity given to share with all of you the experiences gained as a Fulbright scholar. And just a little bit of introduction about myself. My name is Citartan Marimuthu. As the name is a little bit complicated to pronounce, even was when I was in the United States. So they find it hard to pronounce my name. So they asked me, "Do you have a nickname?" I said, "It's Cheetah." So by doing so, they said that it is a name to be remembered for the rest of their life, because not only did I pronounce my name, but I also did some movements to signify my name, which is an animal, right? Cheetah. Right, next slide. Okay. So my research focus is on aptamers, actually. And when I completed my PhD in 2014 in Advanced Medical and Dental Institute, University of Science, Malaysia. So I joined as a senior lecturer. Ever since that, I've decided to embark on aptamers. So what are aptamers? Aptamers are molecular recognition elements or synthetic tools that are widely used in medical diagnostics, for example, for the detection of infectious disease or even for the diagnostics of cancer. So as I was embarking on my journey as a senior lecturer, and when I was in my fourth or fifth year, it was on 2018 when they advertised the opportunity to go for sabbatical research attachment. So I thought to myself, okay, since I've never furthered my study anywhere, and I thought that that would be an opportunity for me to go outside of Malaysia just to experience how the research environment looks like, probably in places outside of Malaysia. And that's when I thought of going for my sabbatical research attachment in the United States of America. And it has always been my dream to set foot on the soil of United States of America. So what I did, first I was looking for an opportunity. So I did some searching for my suitable host, and it took around 6 to 8 months before I submitted my application, actually. So I went for my sabbatical in September 2019, but I started to look for a suitable host way before that. I've started to look probably 6 to 8 months before that. That means I started to search for it in 2018. As I was going through the suitable research groups, I've met one which is in Columbia University. Just to give an intro about Columbia University, during that time, it was ranked 16 in the QS World University ranking. And I'm very proud to say that I've been attached to Columbia University for 6 months, as it is a home to more than 100 Nobel laureates. So Columbia University has actually produced more than 100, to be precise, 103 Nobel laureates as of 2023. And it is one of the prestigious Ivy League universities. So I take pride in the fact that I've been there for at least 6 months. Next slide, please. Okay, as I was searching for a suitable host, and I met this research group, which is in the Department of Mechanical Engineering, Columbia University. So, since my research is on aptamers, I would definitely look for any research group that also work on aptamers. And I stumbled upon Professor Kiao Lin's research group. But again, and they have been working on microfluidics process of selecting aptamer, which runs counter to the conventional approach that myself and my group members have been running on in Malaysia. So there's a sense of difference because they've been using microfluidics technology, which is of course more sophisticated, more cutting edge technology, but we've been using conventional method. But the goal is still the same. So both of our research groups are focusing on getting aptamers. It's just that the way the aptamers are being discovered is different. The methods and the length of time is different. Therefore, I was thinking, how can we actually find a sweet spot or consensus whereby both of our research groups can work on the same thing that we can achieve within a short period of 6 months in the Columbia University. Next slide, please. Okay, this is what I would like to emphasize here, which is to emphasize on the opportunity for bilateral knowledge or expertise sharing. So what I'm trying to highlight here is the fact that when I submitted my application, what I expected from them is not only the knowledge transferred from their research group to us, but what can we deliver that can also benefit that particular research group. So when I submitted my application, I was thinking to myself, they've been working on microfluidics selects, I've been working on conventional selects. So how do we find a optimum spot or a consensus topic that we can work on? So when I suggested to him that there is something that I can complement, Professor Kiaolin was more than very happy to accept me to be attached to his lab. So what I actually did was I was going through his research and I realized there's a gap that I can fill in order to complement his research. So this is how I offered to actually provide my expertise in order to benefit his research group. Of course, in return, I would be learning about microfluidics technology that I would be able to actually transfer when I come back to our country. So this is one point that I would like to highlight here. So when you are submitting your application for this Fulbright research program, it is crucial that you not only highlight the benefits that you would acquire from them, but also your contribution to the host when you are attached over there. Okay, next point. Okay, besides research, of course, Fulbright Malaysian Research Program focuses on the research aspect of the scholarship. But what I'm trying to mention here is the fact that you are not there only for your research, you're also there for cultural exchange. And bear in mind, okay, Malaysia and United States of America have something in common. We are both diverse in our race, religion, and food, and view this scholarship as an opportunity or window to exchange uh, opinions, thoughts, and any other knowledge on race, religion, and food. So, what I also emphasize in my application is the fact that this Fulbright Research Scholarship Program is also a conduit for me to engage in cultural exchange. So, as a whole, what I'm trying to highlight here is the fact that we need to be able to strike a balance between our research experience and the societal experience gained over there. So this is very important. So when I was exchanging emails with Professor Kiaolin, of course, the most important thing, the most significant thing is on the research aspect. But I also mentioned that if I was given an opportunity to further my sabbatical research attachment in the institute, it will be an opportunity to actually introduce our culture, our food, race, and religion to the people or students in the Columbia University. And again, he was very excited and delighted at the fact that I'm there not only to gain benefit from research, but also for the societal experience. So this is a few points that anyone can actually adopt when they are filling up forms for this research scholarship. Another important point that I would like to highlight is also try to look for hosts and try to go to their website and see whether they have any previous visitors or not. If they have previous visitors, that means that particular research group is very open to receive visitors. So this is how I actually reckon that this research group from Professor Kiaolin is expecting to have visitors from outside. So this is one ways to approach a research group if you want to find a suitable host. Next slide. Okay, talking about a research proposal, we need to have a definite or specific topic. So this is what I proposed when I was talking to Professor Kiaolin. So I proposed on a comparative study comparing both conventional and microfluidic platforms for generating aptamers. So when I was having a discussion with him, and he asked me this question, so what's the purpose of comparing? You're just comparing. So you're not doing anything beyond comparison. But I managed to convince him that by comparing, we are trying to analyze each and every single aspect of our own research. So when we do that, this provide enough room for us to improve our research in the future. So this is what I highlighted to him. For example, I just would like to introduce a little bit about our conventional selects method to generate aptamers. So as compared to microfluidics, microfluidics are way faster and they are way cheaper actually as compared to conventional method. And when I pay attention to the time, so when I was doing this experiment, we didn't really factor in the time, the cost, and some other analysis. So when I was comparing, it gives plenty of room for thought. So there are certain things that I can compare. In fact, after we have completed this comparison, I've actually taken some measures to actually improve upon the conventional method of selecting aptamers. So this is what the benefit of the comparative study that I proposed to him. So when I also proposed this study on the comparison, I planned in a way that it can be completed within a time span of 6 to 9 months. So please remember, you're going there not for a year. I think it's between 6 to 9 months. So you propose a research project that is plausible, that can be completed within the time frame. All right, next slide. Okay, and I spent around 6 months over there. So I was lucky enough. So I came back to Malaysia 1 week before the lockdown. So I was very fortunate to be here with all the data. And I've managed to publish 3 papers actually. So we only planned for 1 paper, but in the end of the day, we managed to publish 3 papers. Next point, Lena. Okay. And what I did along the way as well, when I went there, I was in the midst of completing a research project, a review paper. So I in fact invited some of the graduate students and even the host to be part of our team, and they agreed, and this is how we actually produce all these three publications. So we just share our research expertise, and from there it can actually engender more ideas that we can expand upon, which can be expanded into a more concrete research project in the future. So these are the key achievements that I've actually acquired that actually catapulted my academic research. So I've published 3 papers in high impact factor journals. And on top of that, and since I've met all these graduate students, now some of them are in China, some of them are in the States, and one of them is in Europe. So I still keep in touch with them. And this means that I've expanded my research networking. So in fact, I've talked to one of them who is in China, and that particular person said that he agreed to actually work on a common project that we all agreed upon. And this is how I expanded my research networking. And of course, since I've learned about microfluidics, this is an opportunity for me to transfer this technology into selecting aptamers in Malaysia. So if there are any grant openings in the future, I would be able to implement the knowledge that I gain in the United States of America. So these are the things that have been instrumental in the development of my academic career. Another point that I would like to highlight here is that since I've gained their trust, especially the trust of the group leader, so whenever I ask for any letters of support, any letters for as a referee, and he more than happy to provide me one. So he actually drafted one letter for me last week, and he said that, thank you, Chita, you have done a lot for our research group. It's my pleasure to write you a letter. So these are the perks that you can gain when you go for a Fulbright research program. And another point that I would like to highlight is that I've mentioned about research, right? And besides research, there are a lot of societal experience that you can gain there. So I met a lady in the bar, and the lady's name is actually Dakota Powell. She's an artist. So she is very much interested with my topics. So she said that I would like to listen to your research work. So I shared my findings with her. And to my surprise, she actually put this one up in the Twitter. And he texted me, I put your research findings in my Twitter. So this is a screenshot of what she actually put over there. So, ladies and gentlemen, you are there not only for the research experience. There are a lot of things that you can do over there, meeting great people, and she's one of the greatest people that I've met there because she's willing to post my very preliminary research on the Twitter. So I'm very grateful for that. Next slide. All right, talking of societal experience when you're applying for this Fulbright scholarship, I think it is also imperative to actually include some other non-research activities that you can join. For example, I knew that I would be going in September, so I already went to the website and see what are the non-research activities that would be held during that period. And I realized that they will be organizing postgraduate conference in the university. So I decided to put that in my research write-up, saying that I'll be going for postgraduate conference to share my research experience. So I did participate in the postgraduate conference when I was there. And I also participated in this Moshulu Parkway Renaissance Festival, which was held in the Bronx, the place that I've stayed. And it was an immense chance for me to participate in the celebration held at the university level. So I was there for Diwali, I was there for Chinese New Year, and it was there that I experienced the momentous celebration of Thanksgiving and Christmas, which are the major celebrations in the United States of America. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is an opportunity for you, not only for your research and academia and development, but also for the societal experience. Next slide. Okay, and I've met a lot of people over there. It is there that I've met Latinos, and I've met people outside of the lab. I've met and get up close, listen to the stories, listen to the plights and challenges of the African Americans over there, and there are a lot of people that I've met, and a lot of people that I've still keep in touch till now. Next slide, you know. All right, just to highlight, and I've mentioned, I need to mention this one. So when people ask me, I did my research sabbatical attachment in Columbia University, and since New York is one of the most expensive cities in the world, where did I stay actually? I actually stayed in the Bronx, okay? Okay. So you've heard about the Bronx, right? And Bronx being the most dangerous borough in New York. Trust me, ladies and gentlemen, I've been there for 6 months. Bronx is as safe as any other borough in the city of New York. I mean, the whole of New York. And what I'm trying to say here is no place in this God's green earth is entirely safe. It is up to you. Just keep your guard up. Just be cautious. Just watch your way, and you can be safe anywhere, including in the Bronx. So what I'm trying to say here is that we often hear the stereotypes, the labels that are being tagged to places in the United States, in which they are always associated with gun violence, domestic violence, manslaughter, first, a lot of criminal offenses. But what I'm trying to say here, just go for your goal and make sure that you are careful. Just watch your steps. Even the most dangerous place can turn out to be the safest place that you can live. And I've stayed in the Bronx, and I'm still keep in touch with them, the host that hosted me. So to be precise, the place that I've stayed, Bedford Park, is just like 40 minutes away from Columbia University. So I was in this homestay that I just paid for like $800. That's the cheapest per month in the borough of New York. And that's why I stayed there, and I love the place over there. So to keep myself safe, I don't actually go to sketchy or shady places over there. So this is how I protect myself from any unwanted or unintended things. So Bronx is not as dangerous as what people always thought of. And next slide. All right, thank you. That's from myself. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Prof. Chita. I like how you shortened your name there. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing your project, your research, the people you met, your culture, places that you stayed. The Bronx, yes, we've heard so much about the Bronx, but this is definitely a highlight to talk about that it's not as dangerous as what we see or hear over the media. And next we have Prof. Dr. Shakila. Over to you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Lina. Thank you for hosting me. Thank you for organizing this talk. Okay, my name is Shakila, and I went to University of Maryland in 2015, 2016. That was what, a decade ago, 10 years ago. But still, like Chita shared with you, I'm still enjoying the perks until today, the benefits of my Fulbright stint at the University of Maryland. Next slide, please. So when we talk about academic life, we talk about the 4 pillars, right? Teaching, research, publication, and service. So we heard from Chetan earlier. He talked about mostly his research and publication. But for me, the Fulbright provided me with the benefits of not only personal advancement. It's about how I bring my Fulbright experience to my students and to the society I call home. Okay, so how do I share my experiences? How do I share the knowledge I gain during my short Fulbright stint? So unlike Professor Chitan, I went there when I was a seasoned academic already. I'm past my mid-career. I'm actually at the end of my associate professorship. I'm looking to into applying for my professorship. So I was I had the opportunity to do my sabbatical, and I was thinking, I need some motivation. So I applied for the Fulbright grant because I need some, motivation to do some new research, and I then look into oil palm. And today I'm still writing about oil palm, and I'm still enjoying the research multiplier effect that I got from my Fulbright stint because I was collecting a lot of materials. If Professor Chetan talked to you from the perspective of a STEM scholar, expert, engineering to be exact, I'm talking to you from the field of humanities and social science, which is very, very different. So for me, like I said, I'm looking at teaching, research, publication, and service to society and service to my student. So I gain quite a bit. This is the book that came out of my PhD research because I was looking at US investments in colonial Malaya. And as soon as I finished my PhD, I published this book. So I was already contributing to new information on US-Malaysia relations. And I wanted to do something new on US-Malaysia relations, and I thought, oh, why not look at palm oil? Because at the time, there was this battle of fads, there was this campaign against palm oil, and you see it today as well. So I wanted to look into this, and I managed to publish a paper, Government, Business, and Lobbies, the Politics of Palm Oil in US-Malaysia Relations. And I'm still, writing about this today. Next, please. So like I mentioned earlier, it's not about my personal advancement, it's about sharing, becoming a public scholar, becoming a public intellectual. So I had a lot of public engagement, not only writing to the newspapers. I had like a column in Utusan Malaysia where I write about American government and politics, about recent issues. I publish in Utusan Malaysia. And I purposely do it in Bahasa because I want to reach out to my Malay audience. So when I was there during my Fulbright at University of Maryland, I start writing about issues. I remember when I just went there, it was about Obama healthcare. So I wrote about Obama healthcare and I published it in Utusan. Until today, I'm appearing on Astro Awani, I'm appearing on TV3, I'm talking about the US elections. Most of the time they will look for me when there's a US election going on or the primaries, etc. And another important thing, like Chetan highlighted earlier, about lived experience. Yeah, when you are there, you talk to people. Always have informal conversations. Like for me, it's extremely important as a political scientist and also as a business historian. And also when I'm writing my newspaper article, I need that conversation, with Americans on the ground, yeah, from diverse backgrounds. So I talk to farmers, I talk to small business owners, and I took the opportunity also during my break to travel throughout the US, talking to people. And that time it was the US elections in 2016. When I came back after my Fulbright stint, I was talking to many different TV channels about who will win, what's happening in America in 2016, because of my experience then and because of my conversations with many Americans from different walks of life. And the global impact is that I was trying to bring, my experience in the US, my conversations with people in the US back home. And I do it through my writings to the newspapers and also when I appeared on television or on radio. So I'm trying to, you know, promote a culture of national discourse and education based on my experience in America. So I'm quite happy that I managed to connect, our people with what's happening in the US. Next. slide, please. Okay, so despite all the achievements, despite all the successes, this is one of my frustrations or disappointment. When I was talking to the people, so I wanted to hold an exhibition, and it was perfect because the U.S. Embassy, they always host these U.S. elections, and they will host it at a five-star hotel, and they will invite, Malaysian scholars or Americans in Malaysia and academia, etc. So I thought, this is a nice time for me to like show, you know, um, the lived experience that I enjoyed while I was in America. And I want to then provide these voices. I provide a platform for these voices. And it's about the US election. It's like, what are their thoughts about elections? So you can see from these posters, next slide, please. So there were many issues that is still, that are still applicable today, and it applies to the recent elections as well. And one day I hope I'll be able to use these posters. So the US Embassy said, oh, this is a fantastic idea. They provided me with a small grant, and we came up with these huge posters. And then on that day itself, apparently they didn't run it through with the American US Embassy press secretary, and the press secretary said, no, 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 we cannot have this exhibition because it might affect the integrity of the US Embassy holding this US election celebration. So it was shelved at the last minute. So it's just to talk to you about, sometimes we have this very good idea and then we get censored. There's no, sometimes your academic freedom can be limited by good intentions. But then if any one of you want to hold exhibition, I still have these posters. I can share with you these posters, right? So, okay, next slide, please. In reflection, when I talk about advancement in my academic career, I think this was the turning point, the Summer Institute. When I talk to the embassy officials, they say, oh, Shakila, this is actually a Fulbright at that time. Yeah. So in 1998, 1999, I joined the Summer Institute on Religion in America, and I was based in Greenwich Village at New York University. And to me, that's the turning point, because at that point, I was trying to pinpoint, like, what kind of research I would like to do for my PhD. And it gave me direction, and at the end of my stint there for 6 weeks, we traveled quite a bit. We went to New Mexico, we went to so many different places, and it really gave me a lot of ideas, like what to do, for my PhD. And it also, how do I say, improve my relations with the US Embassy, and they funded this first book written on America. They funded together, and I put them in touch with Dewan Bahasa, and this was the first book on American history and government in Bahasa Malaysia. I don't think you can find today a textbook. This remained a textbook. It was published in 2007, and it became a core text in Sejarah STPM and also for USM distant learning program, where the students it's a compulsory paper, American history and government. So I was teaching it for a while, and they invited me to produce a module. So what I'm saying here is that when you apply for the Fulbright program, immerse yourself, not only with the academics at your university, but also with the people, and write about your experiences, share your experiences with the Malaysian audience. If you're comfortable writing in Bahasa, write in Bahasa. If you're comfortable writing English, you write in English. So it will allow you to become a public scholar. Okay, next, please. So how do you apply? I think Dr. Chetan talked to you a little bit about this location. Yeah, to me, as a humanities scholar, the location is very important. I wanted to be at University of Maryland, because I wanted to be close to the archives. I wanted to be close to the several think tanks in Washington, D.C. And, all these think tanks are within, within reach. They're very close because in Maryland, you can also enjoy Virginia, institutions in Virginia, and also in DC, and also in Maryland. They are very close to each other. And like Chetan mentioned earlier, you must already secure a strong academic affiliation, who you want to be working with, and you want to have a supportive host at the university that you want to be affiliated with. And do maintain and expand your scholarly networks when you were there. So I was invited by the Malaysia-American Society to share, my research. So I shared with them at the American University, hosted by the American University, Politics of Palm Oil in Malaysia, and I made quite a few friends there. And when I come back, the US Embassy will ask me to host a few events as well, become moderator as well. So this is very important. Okay, you make yourself known. You participate in events, you participate in programs that allow you to enrich your experience. So why I wanted to be close to DC? Because I want to participate in events organized by CSIS, for example, organized by Brookings Institution, where I met Henry Kissinger. And, I managed to meet people, most academicians. And I was fortunate in the sense that I already knew some American scholars who were based in America. So they hosted me for dinners, they hosted me for Thanksgiving. So what is important here for you when you want to apply, try your best to, like what Dr. Chetan shared earlier, he prepared, his application way in advance before his sabbatical, like 1 year before your sabbatical. Yeah. And I was also engaging actively in seminars, workshops, and any public programs hosted by my host university, by University of Maryland, and also hosted by other nearby universities like Georgetown University, American University. It's all within the vicinity, and I make sure that I know what's happening around me, and I tried my best to participate and maximize my intellectual and maximize the benefits provided by the institutional ecosystem that was in DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Next slide, please. So I must say that, the Fulbright did not change my rank overnight. I did not become a professor overnight. It took some time. But like I said, my Fulbright stint, I was going to the Library of Congress, I was going to the National Archives, I was collecting materials. So it became a research multiplier for me. Like I still have the resources that I haven't used in my writing that I'm still using today to write. Okay. So what's important for me is that my Fulbright experience elevated my standing as a scholar, as a teacher, as a public intellectual, because like I mentioned earlier, my teaching became more human because I talked to the people on the ground, because you must always differentiate between government and the people. Yeah. The government might be doing something that you are fearful of, but the people may be doing something that will embrace you, and you must differentiate between the two. Yeah. Today, I'm the go-to expert on US-Malaysia relations. Media outlets will invite me to comment on certain issues, and my Fulbright affiliation make me stronger in this aspect. And my textbook became a reference not only in Malaysia but also in American classrooms. I'm quite happy, and I write quite a bit. I'm a business historian, so I'm quite popular in my business history circle in Malaysia. And like I said, the primary sources that I collected during my stint, still supporting my new research projects on Malaysian business history. This is one of the consultancy that I was involved with, ISIS Malaysia and CIS based in Washington, D.C., and I went again I was there in 2011. This is just to show you that I was already actively looking at US-Malaysia relations before I applied for my Fulbright grant. Next. So I would like to end with this book here where I did a review, and I'm proud to say, Eric Foner, he's a famous professor of history at Columbia University, and to find my name sharing, the same space with him is actually truly motivating and inspiring. I was invited to review this book, and there's this quote from my review that's on the back of the book. So with that, I end my talk, and I welcome any questions if you have any.
Thank you so much, Prof. Shakila. It seems you had definitely a transformative experience
Yes.
while you were in the US, and it's still impacting your career right now. So before we go to the Q&A, just to remind everyone, there is also another info session next week. Please do join this info session with our 2 alumni scholars as well. You can find more information on our website. And without further ado, let's do the Q&A. That's why everyone is so excited. I think one of the things that I must say that a lot of our scholars ask is how to find a host institution that fits your need. Like Prof. Chita, you did a lot of research, and Prof. Shakila, I'm sure you as well. But I think the question is, what resources did you use to search for these hosts? Prof. Chita, you talked a lot about groups, and you did a lot of research. But can you give some ideas to our participants today on how they can secure, if they have not already secured a host institution? I'll start with Prof. Shakila. You're on mute, Prof. Shakila.
Thank you, Lina. That's a very important question, and that's the question I asked as well. I asked myself as well. Like for me, I would encourage all of you to actually write to the professors that are doing the same work like you are doing, because they are very responsive. Throughout my career, throughout my academic career, because I'm doing US-Malaysia relations, so I always have to talk to American professors. And although they don't know me, when I write to them, they will always respond. So be positive. Write to the professors that you would like to work with. Inform them what you're doing. Try to find common grounds, like what Chetan did. And you have to prove, how you can contribute to their research, and how the host institution that you want to be affiliated with can actually contribute and enhance and expand your research. So I think that's the most important thing. Like for me, the most important thing is to be close to the archives. I chose University of Maryland because I want to be close to the National Archives based at College Park that carries a lot of material on US-Malaysia relations, a lot of materials on Malaysian history. And I also want to enjoy Library of Congress because I know Library of Congress in DC, in Washington, DC, has got a lot of materials, a lot of books. I won't have any problems, and it does help me with my research. So those were the important criteria for me. Yeah, finding a professor to host me was not an issue because I was already active in my business history circle, in business history conference in America. So that was not an issue for me.
Thank you, Prof. Shakila. What about you, Prof. Chita?
Okay. All right, Prof. Shakila, I think she gave her opinion from an expert. I mean, she has been in this industry for quite some time. I think it's not an issue to find a professor, I suppose, because you are in the circle of this research. So I think I would answer from a beginner point of view. Okay, as for myself, I mean, the very first thing that I need is to understand what we plan to do specifically. That means you need to do a lot of research, trying to comprehend the nature of your study. And having understood that, try to go by their publications. So some of the professors, for example, in the research, they would have actually published studies similar to what you have done. Even if it is not similar, as I've mentioned, the goal is the same actually. So you write to the authors, specific corresponding authors, write to them. I follow this trick actually. Trick of the trick is to write to them, wait for a week. If they don't reply, go to the next one. So I did that. So that's why I took around 6 to 8 months to approach to finally end up with the one that has finally chosen me. It's like going for a proposal. So you propose to a girl, the girl doesn't agree with you, wait for a while, go for the next one. So I just took a very rough analogy to analogize how I approach my host anyway. So that's what I did. And second, I don't think so. Another thing that I think we commonly do is to just write to them and ask for any research opportunities available. So I think it is important to actually state or assert clearly what is the intention of your research attachment and how it would actually, if possible, benefit them. So this has to be or form the crux of your email. So this is how I actually approach them, and in the end of the day, of course, when they actually agree with you, they would actually interview you. So that particular professor, so he wanted to see me. In fact, what he did, he wanted to listen to my research that I've done all the while, my prior research. So this is how I cemented his faith, and in the end of the day, he gave me a green light, asked me to submit for a Fulbright application. So that's my few tips anyway. Thank you.
Oh, it was wonderful. I mean, it's so great to have you both here because, one started from fresh, and one
Right.
had, like Prof. Shakila had so much of experience. So she already had the contact. So she was able to secure something very easily, but she had an idea of where she wanted to go. And because of the location and what was available in terms of resources, I think the follow-on question I have to this is, as you're going to the US and you're doing this research work, and I'm sure you both had to be very proactive to, both of y'all went to so many events and connected. How did y'all do that? What motivated or what pushed you to go out to create all these networks? And I think for, like Malaysians, we are very shy, right? What kind of tips or advice can you give to the applicants on if they get selected, how can they go out and, not just stick to their university that they're already doing work, but to go to other universities to create more network because they know I can bring this all back. So can you all give some advice on what the applicants can do to further this? So I will start with Prof. Chita.
All right. So, okay, I think that's a very crucial question as well. So as you have mentioned, Malaysians are a bit laid back, we are not open to meeting people. We are not very quick at actually forging a bond or relationship with people. But the thing is, when I was in the States, when I was in New York particularly, so my host mentioned this to me, you are in one of the most toughest place in the world, actually, New York. So you have to be able to survive. So what I'm trying to say here, try to read people, understand them, and approach them. What she's trying to say is that because it is so populated, you meet people from diverse background, you must be able to uh, comprehend people and try to approach them so that you can get your things done and you can also have a good relationship with them. So what I'm trying to say, when you're in the States, it's a very challenging place, and circumstances will push you to actually join all these activities. So this is how I actually get myself involved in these activities. And I also volunteered on a lot of events actually. Because I'm there, so I just volunteered myself. I just approach the event organizers and said that I would like to participate in their event. So this is how I actually transform myself but anyway, I used to meeting people, talking to people, but when I went there, I just amplify the effect, of keeping in touch with people. So what I'm trying to say here is try to expand your relationship with them, try to uh, get in touch with them, and don't confine yourself just to the lab or your research activities. Just move beyond that. I think when you are there, you will be able to expand your networking and your relationship with people. So that's my advice.
Thank you. Prof. Shakila.
Um, yeah, yeah, sometimes it can be challenging. Sometimes you feel all alone. But firstly, I would encourage you to actually communicate with Malaysians there and at the location that you are at. So maybe join their activities, their events, and also when you go under your Fulbright grant, there is actually I can't remember the institute now that's taking care of you, and they always arrange for events. You know, they
I
take you to places, they take you to make yourself how do I say get yourself immersed in American culture and society. They always organize events, participate in those events, be fast. You must be very quick to register for those events because it gets filled up very quickly. So I always do that. And through these events, through these travel or short trips, I made friends. Yeah. I made friends, and I also volunteered to speak about Malaysia, to speak about, areas that I've done research. And also, um, when you're outside the university, try to engage, with people, talk to them, make small talks, when you're eating at the restaurant, introduce yourself, you're from Malaysia, and also, like what Lena mentioned earlier, try to get involved with activities or seminars organized by other universities within the vicinity. Like I mentioned, I wanted to be close to Washington because I know like CIS, Brookings, and many other different think tanks will always hold talks, and it's all free. It's all free, and I want to be close to Washington because there's so many different museums there, the Smithsonian Museum, etc., etc. So that's why to me, the location is important, and when you get the right location, you will meet the right people. Yeah, you will meet the right people.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing this information. I think the organization you're talking about is called IIE.
Yes, IIE. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so
It was
they
10
do what
years ago. I can't remember.
yeah, they do yes, there is IIE who's our American partner. They will help to arrange what they call enrichment programs that you can sign up
Yeah,
for.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I just would
Okay.
like to add another thing, Lina and Prof.
Sure.
So actually, what I did when I was there, I posted about the fact that I was in New York. So when I posted, someone said that this person is there in New York. So that's how I get connected to
Yeah,
Malaysians who live in New York. So I think you have to make your presence known on the social
yeah,
media as well. So thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I'm actually going to get Karen to come on her camera now because there's some questions we have from the audience in terms of eligibility and application. So Karen, I think one question is, can Malaysian contract staff eligible to apply, or only permanent staff can apply for the Fulbright program?
As long as, yes, thanks, Lina, for the question. As long as in terms of contract, if you are able to have a platform that you are able to return from the program and contribute in your field, in your related field, I do not think that there is a problem for you to apply for this particular program, because what we see is not just what you are putting in at point of application, but we also see how you are going to contribute back upon your return from the program, not just to the institution that you are actually affiliated with in your home institution here, but also in the wider picture as well.
Thank you so much. The other question is that we had was, if I'm currently doing my PhD, can I apply for the scholarship?
Yes, you can, provided you have at least, if you don't have a PhD, but you are currently pursuing your PhD, then what we look at is at least you have an equivalent professional training or experience that you have in that related field at the time that you're applying for the program. That's one. And in terms of work experience, you have a minimum of 5 years of work experience in that related field as well.
Okay, great. One question asks, does the Fulbright have to do with the university, or can it be a research agency or a station? Definitely you can do a research agency. Am I right, Karen? You can be associated with a research agency, but I'm not so sure what about a station like the US forest service or tall timbers?
So far, based on experience, what we have seen in terms of not just scholars get associated with universities, they look at something got to do with institution. So, like, I'm not sure a research station happens to fall under an institute or not, but if you would like to work closely under the forest service and tall timbers, if you think they fall under an institution and that can contribute to your field that you want to put in, you are able to also enjoy the facilities that they can provide you, contribute to your research. It's not a problem, but we have seen up until institute. I'm not so sure if this, how big is this forest service and research station? Is it considered as like a biomedical institute or something of that size? Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So if y'all are not sure, you can also email us at fulbrightmalaysia@macy.org.my. We can help answer that question as well. As the time now is 4 o'clock, and thank you again to everyone for joining us at this session. We had a previous session which was the Macy info session that talked about the application and eligibility. Please do go to our website and watch the video there. This is where Karen spoke about the whole program, the application, which host institutions you can look for. So you can go and watch that video. Before we leave, I would like to ask our esteemed alumni if they have any final advice to our viewers today on how they can, one, finish their application and submit it, because it can be quite daunting, and if they have any advice to give them. So I will start with Prof. Shakila first.
Oh, hi. Thank you, Lina. Yeah, initially I thought, the application would be daunting, would be tough, would be challenging, and I didn't want to apply for a Fulbright. But then it was easy because remember, Macy will be helping you. The staff at Macy, they're very friendly, they're very helpful. Please approach them. And they helped me a lot. Yeah, they helped me a lot with my application. And you will do something that you will not regret because it will definitely enhance your career and also your personal life as well. Yeah.
Thank you, Prof. Shakila. And Prof. Tita?
Yeah, as what Prof. Shakila mentioned, Macy was very helpful. Back then it was Kalis, now we have Karanjit. And I'm sure Lina would be instrumental as well in helping you with filling up of the form. So my just one simple advice, just go through your form and be sure about what you are planning to go for, which makes the crux of the story. And that's it. You will ace it easily. Right. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We do have, if you are not sure, if you need someone to validate your application, we can connect you to many of our Malaysian scholars to help review your application. However, do not send it to them one day before the application closes, because they also have day jobs. So you can write into our Fulbright Malaysia at macy.org.my. Let us know what field you're specifically looking for, what you want the alumni to help you with in terms of the application. Some of your universities also have a lot of alumni there. You can let us contact us, and we can direct you to the right people in your university to have a look at your application. Again, we do have one more session happening next week. We had a session already a couple of weeks ago that you can look at our website and have a look at those videos. And we will be having Ask Us Anything regarding your application a week before the application closes. If you have started your application, you will receive that email to register for those sessions. So you can also join us at those sessions as well. So we are here to help you to submit your applications. And if you don't submit, you will never know if you will get it or not. So please do look at your applications, take it a day at a time. Don't do it in one sit down, because it can be very overwhelming of the amount of information. And especially if you need reference letters, that is something you should at least start quickly. Finding out who can be your references. Very important. The people who are giving you your references must be somebody who is who has worked with you, who's been your supervisor, who can attest to the work that you've done, because we're looking at a depth, reference letters that have depth. So please do get those contacts, because those will be requested and they would need to submit it before the deadline. So we don't want all these small things to, you know, stop you from submitting your application in time, right? Also, don't wait till the September 30th to submit the application, because you don't know, technology issue, internet not working, something not. So try to please submit your application as early as possible, so that you make sure that you don't miss out on submitting your application. Again, thank you so much to our esteemed alumni. Thank you, Karen, so much for joining the session, and all of y'all.